In a quiet Bangkok neighborhood where time seems to move at its own calm pace, suddenly a crash. A car suddenly swerves and crashes. As the dust settles, a homeowner, working from his master bedroom, rises from his computer desk. In a state of panic, he dashes to his front gate. But it's too late. The authorities were ready. They took him into custody, marking the beginning of the end for the key figure in a massive online black market. This was Alexandre Cazes, and his time had come. Tragically, just a week later, he passed away in his jail cell. Beyond the walls of his dream home, amidst Bangkok's golden temples and vibrant nightlife, Alexandre was a shadow that stemmed from dark places. In a city where travelers and expats sought paradise, he wasn't any ordinary expat or traveler. No, Alexandre controlled the largest underground online marketplace ever known. AlphaBay, his creation, generated almost $1 million every single day. AlphaBay wasn't just massive, it was the biggest cryptocurrency black market at that time.
Today, the Department of Justice announces the takedown of the dark web market AlphaBay. This is the largest dark market web place takedown in world history.
With over 400,000 users, AlphaBay's reach was immense. To visualize, it's like the entire population of Miami shopping from a single online store. Backed by his online black market fortune, Alexandre lived the dream in Thailand. It gave him real-world luxuries, a life complete with love, having married a local Thai woman that many travelers could only dream of. The local news media called them Thailand's richest couple. But behind all the money and wealth hides a dark secret. Who really was this young 26-year-old multimillionaire named Alexandre Cazes? How did his life, filled with such riches, end in such a rapid and mysterious way? From the frosty neighborhoods of Ottawa, Canada, to the sunny beaches of Thailand, Alexandre seemed to have found paradise. But behind the golden temples and serene waves, there was a secret. Born in 1991, Alexandre wasn't your average tech kid. He wasn't just good with computers, he spoke to them. He was a prodigy. By the time he left high school, his IQ tested at 142. He could build digital systems most adults couldn't even comprehend. But here's the twist. What happens when a child prodigy turns toward a dark path? At just 14, Alexandre dipped into the world of hacking. Not for money. Not yet. It started with computer games. But that thirst for more power, more access, never left him. His childhood friend Joey remembered. He was brilliant, but he loved money. That's what worried me. It felt like one day he might cross a line. His father painted a different picture. He stated, an extraordinary young man, never smoked, never used illegal substances, no criminal past. 2 worlds, one young man. So how did Alexandre go from gifted teen to multi-millionaire fugitive? By 2015, Alexandre found what he thought was heaven, Thailand. Exotic, warm, beautiful. He didn't just visit, he became part of it. He learned the language, married a local woman, and settled into a life most travelers only dreamed of. But under the palm trees and smiles were secrets. He wasn't just any traveler. He was living large, really large. So much so that the local press called him and his wife Thailand's richest couple. But where was the money coming from? Behind closed doors and behind his laptop, Alexandre was the architect of a vast dark web empire. Yet, oddly, he didn't keep quiet about it. On a controversial online forum, Alexandre talked. He bragged, not just about his wealth, but about his love life, his relationships, his prenup, and more. And here's where it gets ironic. This digital mastermind, child prodigy, this king of online secrecy, paid for his forum membership using his real name, linked to bank accounts, including one in Canada, a digital fingerprint hiding in plain sight. That tiny mistake would become a key to his undoing. More about this later. In his online posts, Alexandre appeared as a genius and a millionaire. but also a man whose morals were increasingly up for debate. Because while the locals saw a rich, polite, happy, Thai-speaking foreigner with money to burn, the internet knew a very different Alexandre. The internet is like an iceberg. On the surface you see YouTube, Google, Amazon. Beneath it lies something darker, a hidden layer, a shadow web. This is the dark web, and from that digital underworld, a new forbidden marketplace was born. AlphaBay. The year was 2014. Imagine Amazon or eBay, but everything for sale is banned. That's AlphaBay. And the man behind it, Alexandre. He didn't just want a black market. He wanted the biggest, the most powerful, the most secretive digital marketplace the world had ever seen. In the darkest corners of the web, AlphaBay exploded. Everything was up for grabs: restricted substances, fake IDs, illegal pew-pew, malware, hacking tools, you name it. But it wasn't just what they sold, it was how many were buying. Over 40,000 sellers, more than 200,000 registered buyers. Between 2015 and 2017, the site processed over $1 billion in cryptocurrency. And Alexandre, he took a 2 to 4% cut of every transaction. That's about $32,000 a day, passive income from the shadows. But a massive forbidden marketplace like this doesn't stay hidden forever. Governments took notice, and they weren't going to let it slide. A joint task force called Operation Bayonet was born. 9 nations, 1 mission: to hunt down the man behind AlphaBay. So how did people even find this hidden marketplace? The answer: Tor, a browser originally built by the US Navy in the 90s. Unlike Internet Explorer, Chrome or Firefox, Tor can access the dark web. That's where AlphaBay lived, out of sight, but never out of reach. And to pay, not with dollars or credit cards. Cryptocurrency, anonymous, untraceable. Bitcoin became the bloodline of this underground economy. But even the darkest systems cast shadows. And in those shadows, investigators were watching. Because every great rise eventually leads to a fall. And to witness AlphaBay's fall, we have to leave the depths of the internet and to step into the sun-soaked streets of Bangkok. The end was coming. A tropical paradise, sun-kissed beaches, bustling street markets, and a life many only dream of. For Alexandre, Thailand wasn't just an escape, it was his dream come true. In 2015, at just 25 years old and a year after founding AlphaBay, Alexandre settled in Thailand. He built a life there, marrying a local woman named Sunisa. Money flowed freely for Alexandre. He managed his immense wealth through both traditional banks and emerging platforms like Bitcoin. Among the 13 Thai bank accounts linked to him, 9 were in his name and 4 belonged to his wife. Together, these accounts held approximately 46 million baht, or about $1.3 million. Their real estate holdings were equally impressive. They owned luxurious homes, each starting at around 78 million baht, or $2 million. To put it in perspective, that's equivalent to purchasing 30 brand new 2 or 3 bedroom detached homes in Thailand. Additionally, they possessed 6 beachfront resorts across Thailand, Cyprus, St. Philip's, Antigua, and Barbuda. Yet the source of their vast wealth remained a mystery. On Thailand's roads, Alexandre was more than just a man. He was a spectacle. He drove a Lamborghini Aventador with a vanity license plate reading Tor, sped around in a Porsche Panamera, and even made short trips to 7-Eleven on a BMW motorcycle. Their combined digital wallets were substantial, containing over 1,600 bitcoins, 8,670 Ethereum, 12,000 Monero, and 205 Zcash. In 2017, this amounted to around $9 million, or a staggering 306 million baht. Considering the fluctuating rate of cryptocurrencies, those 1,600 bitcoins alone would be worth approximately $150 million today. To many locals and tourists, Alexandre and Sunisa appeared as a wealthy young couple living the dream in Thailand. But what if this dream was built on secrets? Sometimes the fall of a kingdom doesn't come from a major slip-up or a betrayal. Sometimes it's something small, so small you'd never expect it. For Alexandre, the young Canadian man behind AlphaBay, it wasn't a hacker or a rival that brought him down. It was a tiny digital fingerprint he left on that controversial online forum. In 2017, as global law enforcement quietly tightened the net around him, they found something unexpected. An email address, not hidden deep in the dark web, not encrypted, just sitting there, plain, open, obvious. pimpalex91@hotmail.com. This email was used during the early days of AlphaBay. It was listed in email headers included in messages sent to users who forgot their passwords. This email was tied to numerous online accounts, including that controversial online forum, his LinkedIn profile, his PayPal, even a business registered in Canada, all in his real name. In the world of the dark web, he thought he was untouchable, hidden behind layers of encryption and usernames. But in the end, what exposed him was an automated email response. That one small mistake was all it took. In the world's largest darknet marketplace built on secrecy, it wasn't the technology that failed him. It was human error, his own ego, his own carelessness. It was an error as simple as an email address that would end everything. As agencies from 9 countries pieced together the breadcrumbs of Bitcoin trails, Alexandre must have felt the pressure mounting. But was he aware? Did he sense the storm brewing? On July 5th, 2017, the day began like any other for Alexandre. Unbeknownst to him, law enforcement agencies from 9 countries had coordinated a meticulously planned operation. Undercover agents from the Thai Royal Police and the FBI surrounded his residence, ready to execute their plan. A sudden crash shattered the morning calm as undercover officers rammed the gate of Alexandre's villa, creating a diversion. Alarmed, shirtless, and confused, he rushed outside, but before he could fully grasp what was happening, law enforcement swooped in, arresting him in the hope that he would rush out, leaving his computer unlocked. That unlocked computer was not just any computer. It would be their golden ticket, their smoking gun, into AlphaBay's secrets. As the police handcuffed him and led him away, his pregnant wife could only look on, countless emotions playing across her face. The life they had known, filled with luxury and mystery, was crumbling around them. In the heart of Bangkok, within the confines of a high-security detention facility, Alexandre awaited extradition to the United States. Just a week prior, he had been apprehended by Thai authorities at the request of the US government, facing serious charges. The transition from a life of luxury to imprisonment was abrupt and stark. Alexandre, once a tech prodigy with an IQ of 142, had built a lavish lifestyle in Thailand, complete with luxury vehicles and multiple properties. However, just a week later, Alexandre was found motionless in his Bangkok jail cell. It was reported he unalived himself. This raised questions and added a sudden end to the story of AlphaBay's rise and fall. Operation Bayonet not only dismantled one of the largest darknet marketplaces in history, but also highlighted the global enforcement to cybercrime. Despite the official ruling of no foul play, questions regarding the circumstances surrounding his death. Some speculate about the pressures he faced, including the potential for a life sentence or even the death penalty if convicted in Thailand. Others wonder whether there were hidden factors at play within the prison walls. Following his end, international law enforcement agencies seized assets totaling over $21 million, including cryptocurrencies, luxury cars, and real estate. Many were left wondering about the fate of his assets. Fast forward to April 27, 2023. Thai authorities granted approval for the seizure of assets once in Alexandre's name. This decision came after a US plea to secure these assets, a list that included bitcoins, at the time of this recording, are worth about $150 million. Initially in the hands of Thai officials, these bitcoins were later transferred to US custody. Among the seized assets were several luxury vehicles, properties, and digital currencies, all tied to the dismantled AlphaBay operation. These assets await the auctioneer's hammer, but the distribution of their sales remains a disputed issue between Thailand and the US government. While the international tug-of-war over Alexandre's vast assets was underway, individuals close to him, like his wife, faced their own set of challenges. Alexandre's wife was briefly detained and later charged in connection with financial activities related to her late husband. After a period of imprisonment, she received a royal pardon and was released. Had Alexandre been extradited to the US, like Ross Ulbricht, founder of Silk Road, who received one of the harshest sentences in cybercrime history, he may have feared a similar outcome. Imagine Alexandre's mindset. A mere week into his arrest, his dream lifestyle and freedom in paradise were suddenly taken away. With Ulbricht's harsh sentencing casting a shadow, he would have been aware of his fate. While the mystery around Alexandre's end may never be fully solved, what is clear is the significant impact of AlphaBay on the digital underworld and the real world. And as for Alexandre himself, opinions differ. Some label him the mastermind of the operation, while those close to him remember a different, kinder side. Also, think of the consequences that came from AlphaBay. Many faced dangerous outcomes using unauthorized items bought on this platform, all while Alexandre gained profits, living the dream in Thailand. But where do you stand on this? Do the official reports capture the full story, or is there more still left unanswered? Was his vast digital empire a symbol of brilliance, or was it a grim reminder of the dangers lurking in the digital world's shadows? What are your thoughts?